Blog Talk Radio.
Hello out there, everybody. I am David Domzalski, founder of the Financial Bin and host of Financial Bin Radio. Now, before we get started, let me share some quick notes with you. First off, don't forget to pick up your copy of Entrepreneur Intervention, Triumphs and Failures of Entrepreneurs. You can do so for just 99 cents on Apple's iBookstore, on Kindle, Nook, and Sony Reader, and it's soon to be available on Kobo and Copia. You can also get a paperback copy for just under $10 at Amazon and CreateSpace. Go to financialbin.com and click on the book section at the very top next to the login button for more information. And secondly, we are in the planning stages of our next book, Wealth Intervention, How to Grow and Keep Your Wealth. Wealth Intervention will detail how 20 rich men and women build, manage, and grow their wealth. We are currently looking for contributions for this book. We want people whose families were already wealthy and kind of learn how they got there, or we also want people who became independently wealthy. The idea of the book is to give people in the Generation Y age group something to shoot for and concrete examples of people who have been there and done it. Go to financialbin.com, click on Wealth, and you will find the article talking about all the details there. You can also email us at wealth@financialbin.com for more information or to contribute. Now, let me introduce you to our guest today. Her name is Carrie Peters. Carrie is the Vice President of Marketing for BigDoor, which is a Seattle-based startup dedicated to making the online world more rewarding by providing gamification technology to non-gaming websites. Now, please join me in welcoming Carrie to the program. And Carrie, welcome to Financial Bin Radio.
Thanks, David. Thanks so much for having me.
No problem. It's our pleasure. Now, since it's Friday, let's just get right to it. First question I have for you is, can you give the listeners a brief description of what you did prior to your current role with BigDoor?
Sure, great. So I've actually been in marketing and PR for about 17 years. I've been lucky enough to have my whole career here in Seattle. I've worked on a lot of different projects and companies locally. Namely, I was at Amazon.com in the early years, and then I also worked on consumer products. I was with a company called ScreenLife, and they made a DVD board game way back in early 2000s, mid 2000s. I also owned my own consultancy, and prior to BigDoor, I was at a digital media agency that made web properties for kids.
Oh wow! So Amazon in the beginning time, huh? Wow, that's amazing.
Yes. Yeah, we used to joke that we were the piñata, but this was back in late 99, early 2000. So it's really exciting to see the company is just completely turned, and so.
I can imagine a very unique experience, and now you get the same opportunity hopefully with BigDoor here.
I hope so.
Just going right into that, then the second question I have is, what led you to becoming the Vice President of Marketing for BigDoor?
Sure. So I've always been drawn to the startup environment. Even though I was at Amazon in late 99, it was still a very entrepreneurial and startup kind of mode that the company was operating under. And actually a colleague of mine that I used to work with at Amazon kind of let me know a little bit more about BigDoor. And, there are 12 people when I started. We have 30 employees now. And I've just been always drawn to the fast-paced nature of a startup world and being able to kind of operate on your own and do things all for the greater good of the company and work really hard and get the opportunity to work on a lot of different projects in a very short time frame. So,
Carrie, can you tell us about the company? I think for some people, maybe some people listening, they might not know everything about what gamification is or what game mechanics are. So can you tell us about the company, how it was founded, and how everything works?
Sure. So our company, BigDoor, was founded in 2009. Our CEO and our co-founders are Keith Smith and Jeff Malik. Keith is our CEO and Jeff Malik is our CTO. They had previously worked together at another company and had been in the advertising business. So they actually wanted to find a way to make the web more fun and engaging. And gamification is one of those ways that they kind of looked at and to do that. So BigDoor, we're a gamified loyalty platform. What we do is power social engagement through the use of game mechanics. So I'll break that down. At its simplest level, gamification is employing points, badges, and leaderboards to non-game websites. But what we do at BigDoor is so much more than that. Our goal is really to help online publishers, grow and engage their communities and increase loyalty. So if you're coming to a site and you're being rewarded for coming to the site, for commenting, for sharing, for reading articles, for kind of taking those activities across the site, whether it be points or virtual coins or you have a leaderboard, you're more engaged and you're more likely to stay on that site longer and be loyal to that site. So we are actually working with over 300 partners. We work the gamut from small independent bloggers to companies like Dell and Major League Baseball are kind of using these gamification techniques in order to engage and grow their audiences.
Now, as VP of Marketing, what's your role? What do you do to kind of get the BigDoor name out there? And if you could maybe focus your answer on what has worked for you and what hasn't worked.
Sure, great. Actually, in a startup environment, anybody who knows or maybe who doesn't know, you do wear a lot of hats. So as VP of Marketing, I really do focus on the marketing end of things, but every now and then all of us have to pitch in and do other things. But working in a startup environment, we're working very lean and very fast. I don't have access to a lot of the typical marketing channels that you would at a larger company. So, for example, advertising or search engine marketing, those just aren't vehicles that I use. What's been worked really well for me on the marketing side is tackling social media. Gamification is an entirely new concept, a new kind of industry, and being able to go out and kind of tweet and talk about things and share articles and share our thoughts on things has been really important to us via Twitter or Facebook. LinkedIn is a great opportunity for us too to kind of get out in front of some groups. We've had to get real creative. Actually, this past December, we put out an infographic, and it was basically a year in review of gamification. And the infographic actually went viral, and it's been shared more than 6,000 times. So,
wow.
Using social media in more creative ways to get our message out there is one thing that we've done a lot of. We also have done quite a few guest posts in different, marketing websites and, Forbes magazine and those kinds of things. So we've been really successful on that. And I think in terms of places that we maybe haven't necessarily had as much success as if we're looking at the more traditional route. So, kind of anchoring some kind of news behind a press release, you don't always get as much traction as you would if you go out and be more creative about your campaign and have that be linked to social media. And, the infographic is a great example of that. So kind of being creative about what you're doing and doing it in sort of that social media environment has been worked really well for us.
Carrie, how is gamification or game mechanics, how would you say it's transforming how businesses interact? I mean, you mentioned social media, which I guess you could say was the latter part of last decade. Now, probably, social media coupled with things like Pinterest or things like gamification. How would you say that's changing the market and changing the way businesses interact with consumers?
Sure, it's funny that you mentioned Pinterest because, wow, they have just exploded.
Tell me about it.
Gamification is just a great way for businesses to engage with their customers and to create that loyalty. BigDoor, what we're really trying to do is build that instant loyalty solution and create that deeper brand affinity. I was actually looking at Pinterest today as an example, and the Wall Street Journal has pin boards for Pinterest. And it's one way to get me to engage on a deeper level with what they're doing in their content. Of course, I was just looking because they had all the fashion week recaps and those types of things. But I think being able to use and harness social media in a way that is engaging, and that's really at the crux of what gamification does. We at BigDoor, we want when people are working and doing things across the site, it's like you want them to be able to share and broadcast what they've done or what they've read, or that they received points, or that they've have virtual coins on this site or that site. It's really about creating a more broad ecosystem that makes people more loyal to sites.
You mentioned in one of your previous answers, you mentioned MLB and Dell, and also obviously working with some smaller bloggers. Can you kind of get into a little bit more, maybe dig a little bit deeper as to what you did for these clients and, the work done and the response and how it's kind of changed their website and the way they engage their consumers?
Sure. So Major League Baseball is a great example. This last baseball season, 2011, we launched on opening day. What Major League Baseball wanted to do was drive more people to the game day section of their website. So whether you're a baseball fan or not, MLB.com is an amazing vehicle. They've done an awesome job at digital media. And one of the sections of their site is called Game Day. It's basically a Flash-based application where people can watch and play along with a game. So when a live game is going on, you can go to this section and you can check out the game. And what they wanted to do was drive more people to that section, and so we implemented this badge rewards program. So as I'm watching and I'm playing along with a game, I can earn badges. We had 3 badges for every player in the league. People could earn their badges and have their virtual trophy case with their badges. They're it basically became trading cards on a virtual level. So, MLB is a great example of a site where they have very rabid fan base and people were very excited. They wanted to consume the content. They wanted to be able to earn those badges. One thing is that for their first implementation, you weren't able to share those badges, and that's one thing that we always guide our partners in. Having that ability to share and say that you earned those badges is really important. So, we're kind of working with MLB and through the next season, and we should have a really interesting program coming up for this next season. Some of our smaller sites, we actually work with a site called Tube Network. It's a website that has 10 different video tube networks. So there's Kitten Tube, there's Puppy Tube. They're just viral video sites.
Oh, wow.
One thing they wanted to do is encourage people. They have a lot of traffic to the Puppy Tube and the Kitten Tube networks, but they wanted to encourage more traffic to flow through their other networks. So they have a Tech Tube, Product Tube, that kind of stuff. So one thing they did is they started a Quest program, and essentially what that does is it encourages people who have come to KittenTube to look at that really cute video of a kitten doing something silly. If you wanted to participate in the Quest program, you kind of click through and you can watch videos on TechTube and participate, and you can be earning rewards all along and, getting virtual coins and things like that. So that's kind of another implementation that, it's really specific for each site, and it's how you want to engage the community. Major League Baseball, like I said, has a great fan base, a community. People are really excited to earn those badges because they feel really, excited and want to be earning, like, for me personally in Seattle, of course, I want to try to earn some of the Seattle Mariners badges.
Right.
Tube Network is, people kind of coming to those areas and thinking, oh, wow, I didn't realize there was I could watch some, tech products and stuff like that after I watched my kitten, funny kitten videos. So.
Well, I like how you mentioned Major League Baseball. I'm a huge Phillies fan myself, and I use Game Day. Don't tell my boss at my day job, but I use Game Day when I can't, get near a radio or television. It's,
right.
And they really have enhanced it. You're right. I mean, they really have done a fantastic job incorporating all of that.
Yes.
Now, what are BigDoor's plans for 2012 and maybe 2013 or so? What do you guys have in store?
Oh, wow. Well, we have a lot of stuff coming for 2012. Actually, we'll be announcing kind of the next iteration of our product in early March. I mentioned a little bit about Tube Network and how they were using Quests. Quests are going to be a big focus for us in kind of getting people to engage with content throughout different websites so we'll be unleashing that new product in early March. We're just really excited to kind of be out there, and we iterate on our product weekly, our technology, and we listen to our partners, and people are coming up with really cool ideas all the time that we try to prioritize and put in our stories. And like I said, we have 30 people in our company, and 25 of them are very dedicated to product and developer specific. So there's no end to kind of where we'll be going. It's really exciting.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing where you guys end up after this year. I mean, just to see from 2009 to now, it's just been fantastic.
Yep.
Carrie, the financial has been focused on personal finance and entrepreneurship for Generation Y. So, for those listening out there who are trying to start a business, might be stuck in terms of marketing, what is one key piece of advice you can offer them, and how can BigDoor help with that?
Sure. I think marketing today has changed a great deal, and all in a good way. I mean, it sounds kind of cliche to say that you can think outside the box, and I would always recommend people think outside the box and kind of take some chances. Social media has been a great way to be able to do that. Creating campaigns on Facebook and Twitter are really cost-effective and exciting ways to kind of harness marketing. BigDoor, we really do want to help those marketers increase their loyalty on their site and keep those users engaged. And, from our technology standpoint, we, kind of go after that, or we sort of encourage the sharing and encourage the tweets and encourage people and reward points for people to click on those links. I think it's really exciting that, you don't have to have a giant ad budget anymore in order to drive the buzz and drive interest in your product, that you can be really creative in how you do that. And BigDoor, of course, can help those people kind of come to your site and stay on your site and engage and become more loyal users.
Carrie, I really want to thank you for your time. It's been fantastic learning about BigDoor and learning about where you've come from. Just to kind of wrap up here, how can people get in touch with you, and how can they get in touch with BigDoor?
Sure. So actually next week we'll be launching our new website. www.bigdoor.com is our website, and anybody can just kind of shoot me an email. I'm Carrie, Carrie, at BigDoor, and we're always happy to listen to people and excited to hear from people and let us know their experiences or what they're looking for. And we're also on Twitter it's at bigdoor.com or at BigDoor. Sorry.
Well, Carrie, it's been a pleasure, and I really appreciate it. And after you guys get the everything with the Quest launched and the new website later this year, I'd love to have you back on to kind of tell me how everything else is going.
We'd love to. Thank you, David. So great. Thanks for giving us the opportunity.
No problem at all. You have a great weekend.
All right. Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That was Carrie Peters, the Vice President of Marketing at BigDoor.com. Make sure to check them out. Now, also make sure to check out Entrepreneur Intervention. Again, just 99 cents. You probably have a Kindle. You probably have an iPad. Pick it up. Do yourself a favor. You got Valentine's Day you got Valentine's Day coming up. I mean, you could always pick it up for your sweetheart there too. Especially if they're an entrepreneur. Make sure to tune in this upcoming Monday. It's February 13th, not the 14th, so you're not going to get in trouble, guys out there especially. 5:30 p.m. on Eastern Time, we're going to have Aaron Klein on the program from Riskalyze. They're doing some great stuff over there as well. I want to thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Again, make sure to check out BigDoor.com, at BigDoor on Twitter. You guys, it's been a pleasure. My name is David Domzalski, host of Financial Bin Radio and founder of the Financial Bin. Make sure to check us out on financialbin.com. Have a great weekend. Take care.